Good morning students, I am Krishnan Kumar, your physics teacher. Today we are going to start our chapter thermodynamics and it is 12th chapter in your 11th physics. So in thermodynamics you have to study the process, the parameter related to your temperature. So in this chapter we are going to study thermal equilibrium, means under what condition two systems will be under thermal equilibrium. Then laws of thermodynamics. Basically there are three laws: zeroth law, first law and second law of thermodynamics, that we also going to study in this chapter. Then specific heat capacity of any type of object. Then your thermodynamic state, means an object can be in any state related to your thermodynamic system, that is temperature. Then variables and related to that equations. Then you have to study the main topic in thermodynamics, that is your heat engine and your refrigerator, how they work. Then you have to study reversible and irreversible process on which your Carnot engine is depends. So these are the some basic some main topics that we are going to cover in this chapter. So let's start our chapter. First is zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics is nothing but it is related to thermal equilibrium. What happened in this case? Suppose we have a system of three different parts A, B and C. If this is a thermal wall and diathermal wall and it is a adiabatic wall, means heat cannot exchange from this wall. So heat can be exchanged only through this wall. So if A and C or B and C are in thermal equilibrium, then A and B will also in thermal equilibrium. This is simple zeroth law of thermodynamics. Then your thermodynamic system, means a system in which have a working substance, some variable, input, output and number of components in their thermodynamic system. Then your thermodynamic variables, means the parameters we are going to study in this process, that is suppose pressure, temperature, volume, these are the thermodynamics variables. Next your equation of state, means as you know there are some gases equation and this is the ideal gas equation, perfect gas equation you know very well. PV is equal to nRT, here n is equal to 1, so PV is equal to RT. Then type of thermodynamic processes. There are multiple type of processes, they are simple. So let's start this. First is isothermal process. So in isothermal process, your temperature should remain constant and other parameter can be changed. Then your isobaric process. Isobaric process means it is related to pressure. So pressure should remain constant in such type of a process. Then your isochoric process. In case of isochoric process, your volume should be constant, other parameter can be changed. In adiabatic process, there should be no heat exchange between the system and the surrounding. In cyclic process, your initial and final position is same, means after the working, your system returns to the initial state. Next, your thermal energy of a gas, means how thermal energy is introduced in a gas. As we know that if we consider a ideal or a perfect gas, then we can assume that its molecule has no force of attraction between them. Its molecule has no force of attraction between them. But practically this is not possible. Practically it is not possible. All the gases having atoms will attract to each other. So real gas are the gas in which your atoms make force on each other. Now as gases can have three type of energy. One is your potential energy, second kinetic energy, and it can be mix up of both. So potential energy means positions of atoms, and position of atom will change according to volume. If volume is less, then interatomic separation will also less. If your potential interatomic distance is volume is high, volume is more, then your interatomic distance will be large. So you can simply say that potential energy is a function of volume. It will change according to change in volume. Then kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, you know very well, kinetic energy means motion, and motion can be produced by changing the temperature of the gas. So kinetic energy is a function of your temperature. This is a simple average kinetic energy of a system that is related by your temperature, that is 3/2 of kT. K is your Boltzmann constant, T is any temperature. As ideal gas has only kinetic energy because there is no force of attraction between the atoms, so there is no potential energy in case of ideal gas. So you can say ideal gas contains or have or possess only kinetic energy. Then your PV diagram. It is nothing but the relationship or a graph between the pressure and your volume of any system or any working system. Suppose this is your pressure, this is your volume. Then if I expand any gas, so during the expansion, if I expand any gas, then during the expansion its volume will increase and pressure will decrease. So it is the relationship between the pressure and volume of a gas. Similarly, if you are going to compress a gas, then its volume will decrease and pressure will increase. Now what is the importance of PV diagram? Importance of PV diagram is that we can find out the work done on the gas or by the gas by finding the area of the graph. So its importance is work done can be find out using the area of the graph. So area of the graph means if this is the your curve, then area below this curve. If you find this area, then this is the work done. Now one more point, if it is clockwise, as due to arrow it is clockwise, so if area is clockwise, loop is clockwise, then work done will be positive. Work done by the system means it is expanding, and if it is compression, then the area will be in anti-clockwise direction. Area will be in anti-clockwise direction, so that will be work done will be negative and work done on the system. So you have to remember these 2 points, how work done is positive and negative. Next is your work done during the expansion. So if a gas is expanding, then you have to find the work done on that. So for this you have to assume a simple system. It is a container having a piston, and this piston is your frictionless piston. This is your frictionless piston. Suppose at any initial condition at A it has pressure P1, volume V1, and at final stage it has pressure P2 and volume V2. Suppose we are somewhere in between these two, and this is that in between point. Here pressure is P and volume is V. Now what we have to do? We have to increase its volume by a very small amount, that is dV, by maintaining the pressure constant, and during this process suppose piston move a distance of dx. These are our basic assumptions. Now what we have to do? Suppose piston is move for a distance of dx against the constant pressure. Pressure should remain constant, distance is so much less. So work done is nothing but the force into displacement, and force is pressure into area. A is the area of the piston. Then simply A into dx, area into length, is nothing but the volume, change in volume. So work done will become pressure into change in volume. And if you want to complete work done from A to B, then you have to simply integrate it with initial and final condition, that is initial volume V1 and final volume your V2. So this is the work done. You have to remember this equation. We are going to use this equation in further derivations also. Then work done by indicator diagram. Indicator diagram is nothing but the PV diagram itself that we have studied on previous slide. So suppose this is a PV diagram, that is pressure volume graph, and it is a process by which suppose gas is expanding. Gas is your expanding. Now you have to take again some simple steps. Suppose you have to start from A, that is P1 V1, and end point is your P2 V2. Now suppose you are at any point in between where pressure is P and volume is your V. Now if you are assuming some small distance dx, and for that suppose your pressure is a constant, pressure should remain constant. These are the same assumptions that we have used in the last slide also. So now if pressure is P and volume is V, if volume increase by small quantity, that is V plus dV, for a constant pressure V, pressure P, then as we can see that this is the change in volume, this is dV, this is your dV, and work done from A to B for this small distance, the work done is your simple, what is the work done? P into dV, that we have calculated, P into dV, this is the P and this is your dV. So you can say that this is P dV is P is your this and dV is this, and this is a simple rectangular strip. So if you find the area of this strip, then you can find the work done for this small distance, and for the complete work done, this complete area will give you the complete work done from point A to B. Next is work done during the cyclic process. So what is this? Means your initial and final positions are same. So suppose you are starting from A to B from the X point, and then you come back from B to A through your Y point. So you have to find the area or you have to find the work done in this process. Suppose during expansion you will go A, X, B. Then work done is nothing but your A, X, B, B dash, A and A. This is your work done, that is area, and it is in clockwise direction, so it is positive. Now during compression, that is BYA, work done is nothing but your this area, that is BYA, A, B, B, and it is in anti-clockwise direction, so it will be in of negative sign. So net work done simply by adding the two, as this is positive and this is negative. As you can see easily, the common point between this graph and your this graph is your this. So this will be the final work done, that is area of AXBYA in a cyclic process. Work done is given by the area of the loop. Then first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics will tell you about that the amount of heat added to any system, this is the amount of heat added to any system, is used in work done, and sum of part is used to increase the internal energy of the system. So applied energy is going to convert in work done and to increase the internal energy of your system. Okay. So again we are using the same type of system of initial pressure volume PV, finally your P, D, V plus dV, and piston moved for a small distance dx. Then work done we have simply found in previous slide also, work done is P dV. So we can simply replace this work done by your P dV. So dq will become du, that is internal energy, plus P dV, your work done. So if heat is gained by the system, it will be positive, and if heat is lost by the system, it will be taken as negative. This is the your heat. Then if internal energy increase, this is the internal energy, then you will take it positive sign, and if it is decreasing, then you will take it as a negative sign. Then application of your first law of thermodynamics, where you can apply first law of thermodynamics. So first we are going to apply for the cyclic process. So as we know that in cyclic process, system remain come to back your in initial state, So final and initial state are same. So there is no change in internal energy. So simple, your applied energy or heat will do only your work done. There will be no change in the internal energy because initial and final position are same. Then for the boiling process, in the boiling process we know very well that system or a substance is changing its state. Suppose its latent heat is given by Q is equal to ml. So change in internal energy is this, work done is your simply this, and this is your change in volume. So P into change in volume. Now as we know that this amount of heat should be required by us to change the state. So our applied heat is your nothing but your ml. So ml is your dq, and this is your change in the internal energy, and pressure into change in your volume. So from here I can simply find the change in internal energy during a boiling process. Now, two specific heats of a gas. As we have studied the specific heat in the previous chapter, that is amount of heat for any material required to raise its temperature by a unit degree centigrade. But now specific heat is to be considered that whether it is under constant volume or under constant pressure. So if it is at constant volume, then it is represented by Cv. And for if you are considering it for a single mole, then it is given by Cv is equal to mCv. M is your molecular weight. This is your capital C, this is your small c. Then specific heat at constant pressure. So if pressure remains constant, then it is represented by small c, subscript में आपका P होगा. Then your molar specific heat at constant pressure. This is again similar to this that you are using for the 1 mole, and m is your molecular weight. Here C is your capital C, and it is the relationship between the small c and your capital C. As Cp, that is specific at constant pressure, is always greater than Cv. Now we will consider through the theoretical concept, then we will derive its expression. So as at constant volume no work is done. If volume is constant, there will be no work done. Then your applied energy will only raise the internal energy of the system. One component is skipped in this process. For this equation, dq is equal to du plus pdv, as this is 0 for your constant volume. But if pressure is constant, then some heat is used in the work done and some is used to increase the internal energy. So in case of constant pressure, we can increase both variable du and pdv. So we can say that Cp always greater than Cv. Now we have to find the relationship between these two specific heat, that is Cp and your Cv. So again we are considering the same system of a gas having a frictionless piston. Suppose we have moved a small distance dx. If A is the area of the piston and gas is heated at a constant volume till temperature increase by dt. Suppose constant volume hai and your temperature increased by dt. Then your dq, that is amount of specific heat, this is your mass, we have considered it unit mass, this is specific heat and this is your change in temperature, and this equation we have studied in previous chapter itself. Then here we can find out Cv dt is your applied heat. Now if we are using at constant pressure, if pressure is constant, then internal energy is equal to applied heat is equal to mass into specific heat into change in temperature. So it will become Cp into dt. Now also at constant pressure means you are increasing your internal energy, and internal energy is increased during your constant volume process. So I can simply replace du, that is internal energy, by your dq, because dq increased your internal energy in the same way as done by your at a constant pressure process. So I simply replace du by this dq, and this is your heat equivalent of work. Heat equivalent of your work means, as this is work and these are the heat, so I have to use equivalent of the work done in this equation. So I have using dw by j. Now by putting the values, dq is nothing but cv dt. I have put all the equations, all the values from the above equation. So from here Cp minus Cv dt is equal to P dV over J. Suppose this is first equation. Now as we know this perfect gas equation is your PV is equal to RT. Now from here I can simply integrate at constant, simply differentiate it at constant pressure. Now P is constant, V is your dV, change in dV, and R is constant, this is a gas constant, and dt is your change in temperature. So now you will simply replace P dV by RTD in previous equation, this equation. So this will become this one. Now dt will cancel out dt, so it will remain Cp minus Cv is equal to R by J. As gas equation is always positive, so from here also you can say that as R is always positive, so Cp will remain always greater than Cv. And if we are using for the 1 gram of a gas, then this is the gas constant for your 1 gram. Now isothermal process, as you know that in isothermal process pressure and volume both can be changed, but your temperature will not change. So for this process your wall should be conducting, means heat can be easily skipped to the surrounding to remain the temperature constant, and this process should be go on slowly and slowly during compression or expansion. Now you have to find the equation of isothermal. So this can be done simply by PV is equal to RT. Here R is constant and T is also constant in a thermal process. So you can say that PV is constant. So if PV is constant, then P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Now first law of thermodynamics in isothermal. Now you have to put your first law of thermodynamics in your isothermal process, as internal energy is the function of temperature. If temperature is constant, then internal energy will not change, so it will become du is equal to 0. So your first law of thermodynamics will become dq is equal to P dV, because temperature is not changing, so internal energy will be 0. So this will become your first law of thermodynamics. Now in case of isothermal expansion, if we are doing expansion in isothermal process, then volume will be increased, and if volume increase, then heat should be applied from externally to remains the temperature of gas constant, because as volume increase, temperature will try to drop of the gas. In isothermal compression, if you are compressing, then volume is decreasing, so its heat is increasing. So you have to radiate its heat to the surrounding to keep the temperature of gas constant. Now work done in the isothermal process means what is the amount of work done in isothermal process. You have to simply derive the expression. So again we are using the same consideration. A system having frictionless piston, initial values are P1 V1, final values is your P2 V2 of pressure. If any point you are at pressure P and volume V, and after moving piston small distance dx, its pressure is constant and volume is changed by V plus dV. Now for the constant pressure we have derived that small work done is your P dV. Now for the complete work done from A point to B point, what we will do, you will simply integrate this equation. So integration will be in a proper limit, that is initial volume to the final volume. Now you have to replace here P with your volume. So from gas equation, as we know that PV is equal to RT, and from here P is equal to RT by V. So I put this P in this value. So it will become your RT over V dV. As RT is constant, so it can be taken out. Now simply 1 over V. So integration of 1 over V or 1 over X is your log X. So I have done it, and by putting your initial and final value, I can get RT log E V2 minus V1. So if I want to remove this natural log, then I have to multiply it by your 2.303 RT log base 10 now. As in if there is a minus sign, then in log it can be divided. So it will become V2 by V1. Now I can simply write this equation in this type also, as we know that P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. From here I can say V2 by V1 is equal to P1 by P2. So I simply replace V2 by V1 by P1 by P2. These are the equations that we have to use in the work done of your isothermal process. Then your adiabatic process. Adiabatic process is a process in which there is no heat exchange between the system and surrounding, and for this process the wall should be insulating. There should be no change of or no exchange of gas, and your process should be very quickly, either it is expanding or it is compressing, it should be quickly. So there is no chance of heat exchange. So again we are considering a simple your system, initial pressure P, volume V, and temperature T, and if its volume is increasing, then temperature will decrease. So temperature will decrease by amount dt and volume will increase by an amount dV. Now we have to find the equation of adiabatic process. As we know that for constant process, work done is given by P dV. Now if temperature is decreasing, then the internal energy is given by CV dt. As we know that the internal energy is a parameter of your change in temperature. As there is no exchange of heat in your adiabatic process, so simply first law of thermodynamics will become your dq is 0. So CV dt is equal to P dV, and this is equal to 0. As there is no exchange of heat, so dq is 0. Consider it is very carefully. Now as we know that we have PV is equal to RT. Now differentiating both sides with respect to T, you will get P dV by dt plus V dP by dt. It is nothing but a simple A into B formula for your differentiation. Differentiation of T is 1, so it will become this. Now I can take this dt on other side, so it will become P dV plus V dP is equal to R dt. Now from here I will find value of dt. So this is your dt. This can be find from this equation. Now you will put dt in first equation. What was your first equation? This was your first equation. So now putting the value of dt in first equation, I get this value. Now simply by removing r, so r will multiply by this. So this is your final expression. Now you simply do some mathematical process, that is you can take common PVD from these two equations. So this will become CV plus R bracket PdV and CV dP is equal to 0. From here, as we know that Cp minus Cv is equal to R, so we can say that Cp is equal to R plus Cv. So I just replace your Cv plus Cr with your Cp. Now dividing on both sides to this equation, I will divide by Cv P into V. So you have to divide carefully. This is a mathematical process, so you have to take it carefully. So it will become Cp over Cv into dV over V plus dP over P is equal to 0. As the ratio of two specific heat is given by gamma, and it is your dV over V and this is your dP over P is equal to K, because it is a constant. Now you have to integrate both sides. Now what you are going to? You are going to integrate on both sides. Now by integrating you will get, this is constant, so come out and integration of dP over P. As we know that integration of 1 over V or 1 over P is log V and log P, that is K, your constant. As if this is, I will come this here, then it will goes to its power. So it will become log V gamma plus log P is equal to constant. Now as we know that if this is in addition, then it can be multiplied. So log PV gamma is equal to K. So by taking anti-log on both sides, I will get PV gamma is equal to EK, and it is a constant. So we can say that if PV power gamma is constant, then P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma. So as PV is equal to RT and PV over T is equal to R, so PYV is PV over T is constant. So this is your second equation. Now you can simply change this equation in pressure volume. It is now in pressure volume. You can write in volume temperature or pressure temperature. So now what I will do, from equation 1 and 2, this is first and this is second, I will simply eliminate pressure from these two. As this is constant, this is equal to constant and this is also equal to constant, so both should be equal. So from these two equations I can write that is TV gamma is equal to constant, or you can say TV gamma minus 1 is constant, so T1 V1 gamma minus 1, T2 V2 gamma minus 1. Now from 1 and 2, from these two only I can eliminate volume. So by eliminating volume I will get your P gamma V gamma over T gamma. So by simply solving it I will get this value. This is simple mathematics, you can do very easily. So from this you can say that P1 T1 power gamma minus 1 gamma is equal to P2 gamma minus 1 and T2 gamma. So you have changed simply this equation in different parameters, that is your pressure temperature or your volume temperature. So this is your first part of this video. Now we will make second part, then we will study our adiabatic process.